The unrivaled darkness of 536. History's worst year unfolded. Worst year ever often pops up online, mostly as an exaggeration in response to trivial disappointments. But when scientists and historians weigh in, they point to one unparalleled year, 536. Unlike today's fleeting frustrations, the darkness that fell on the world in 536 lasted much longer, bringing devastating consequences that shaped history. Let's explore the layers of catastrophe that made 536 the worst time to be alive and how this shadow cast a tragic legacy. An ominous fog that shrouded the world. Imagine a sky dimmed and dreary, as if the sun had dimmed permanently. That's precisely what historian Procopius recorded while journeying in Sicily in 536 as an advisor to the famed Byzantine general Belisarius. In his writings, Procopius noted that the sun gave light without brightness, resembling an eternal eclipse. Similarly, a scribe named Michael the Syrian described a sun that appeared weak and ineffective, a feeble shadow each day, lasting no more than a few hours. This strange, relentless fog became a haunting presence, plunging much of the planet into eerie twilight for nearly 18 months. Research eventually uncovered clues that a massive volcanic eruption may have triggered this worldwide gloom, with ash spreading across the globe. Famine grips the globe as sunlight fades. The fog blanketing the world didn't just create a surreal atmosphere, it wreaked havoc on crops. Plants need direct sunlight to survive, so when skies remained dark for over a year, the food supply suffered immensely. Temperatures dropped between 1.6 and 2.5 degrees Celsius, enough to disrupt agriculture and plunge entire regions into famine. With such drastic cooling, even nations accustomed to cold felt the impact, including Ireland, where people suffered through a grim period they called bread failure. Worldwide, communities braced themselves as their food reserves dwindled. What should have been a vibrant, productive year turned into one of starvation and desperation as families struggled to find sustenance. The plague hits an already vulnerable Byzantine Empire. As though famine weren't enough, the year 536 also saw a plague sweep through the Byzantine Empire. The disease knew no boundaries, spreading through every social class from the common people to the aristocracy. It began with painful sores on the hands, eventually rendering the afflicted immobile as symptoms worsened. Constantinople, the heart of the empire, became a city of illness and despair, littered with bodies as the sick succumbed faster than authorities could manage. Emperor Justinian attempted to contain the situation, ordering mass removals of the deceased, but this only spread the plague further as healthy individuals were exposed. The crowded city became a breeding ground for illness, amplifying the horrors of 536. China and Mesopotamia face a summer of snow. Around this time, climate chaos struck China, raining down dust so thick that it could be scooped up by hand. Reports from the southern dynasties describe midsummer frost and even snow in August, a season-defying chill that spelled disaster for crops. This sudden freeze wiped out summer harvests, leading to a 2-year famine in which an estimated 70 to 80% of the population perished in some areas. Mesopotamia experienced similar upheaval, as regions unaccustomed to freezing temperatures battled this climate anomaly. In both countries, communities that once thrived found themselves in survival mode, struggling to withstand the onslaught of unexpected weather. Volcanoes in action, the source of catastrophe. Volcanic eruptions were likely the root cause of 536's unrelenting darkness. Evidence from Greenland and Icelandic ice cores shows that a significant eruption occurred that year, with another eruption following in 540 and a third in 547. Together, these eruptions launched the world into what some historians call the Late Antique Little Ice Age, a decade-long period of blocked sunlight and dropping temperatures. Starvation became a common thread among affected regions as people relied on dwindling resources. Crops perished, and malnutrition left many populations vulnerable to disease, setting the stage for more widespread human suffering. The Byzantine Empire and the Roman legacy teeter. In the 6th century, the Roman Empire's capital had shifted eastward to Constantinople, and under Emperor Justinian, the Byzantines sought to reclaim their lost glory. But as the empire struggled to expand, it faced insurmountable obstacles. Political instability and uprisings were only part of the problem. Disease ravaged the population, which historians estimate was reduced by 35 to 55% due to the plague. Weakened and depopulated, the empire was unable to recover fully. What began as an attempt to restore Roman strength became a turning point that foreshadowed the empire's eventual decline. A scholar's quest for the truth of 536 ***. In recent years, a group of scholars led by Harvard historian Michael McCormick sought to uncover the full story behind this fateful year. Their studies began with a simple question about metal use and coinage, but ultimately evolved into a larger examination of 536 as a global crisis. The team discovered volcanic fragments from Icelandic eruptions embedded in Swiss glacier ice cores, evidence that these eruptions had darkened the northern hemisphere. The results painted a picture of a year like no other, confirming that volcanic ash likely cloaked the world, plunging civilizations into one of history's most enduring calamities. Tree rings bear witness to the crisis. The lasting impact of 530 SXS volcanic eruptions left evidence in the trees, a silent record of this period's toll on life. Icelandic tree rings reveal stunted growth, a signal of dramatically cooled climates that followed the eruption. Combined with data from ice cores, these findings create a detailed timeline, tracing how a single year's darkness affected the entire ecosystem. For trees, the slowdown was temporary, but for humanity, it set in motion years of scarcity and suffering. The trees bear witness to a climate catastrophe that left civilizations scrambling to adapt to survival in a drastically altered world. Recovery after darkness, a sign of hope. As dark as things became, even this terrible era eventually saw a flicker of recovery. By analyzing ancient coinage and lead traces in ice cores, researchers noted the reappearance of silver coins, a hopeful indicator of economic resurgence. Silver mint commerce was reviving, and as people returned to producing coinage, they laid the foundation for a fragile but persistent recovery. From this period of regrowth, the resilience of humanity shone through, offering a reminder that even in the darkest times, a return to prosperity is possible. Would you brave the year 536? 536 stands as a somber reminder of nature's force and the fragility of human societies when nature shifts unpredictably. The challenges faced then, from volcanic ash cloaking the earth to a plague that swept through empires, make our modern struggles seem light by comparison. If given the chance, would you venture back to this period to witness or even survive the hardships? Let us know. And if this journey through history has piqued your interest, we invite you to explore more remarkable stories of the past with nostalgic narratives.